Hello and welcome to your daily oracle reading. I'm Linda the Lightworker, and I'm so glad you stopped in today. If you'd like to have your own personal reading with me, please go ahead and email me at lindathelightworker@gmail.com, and I'll get you scheduled in and we'll have a really nice chat about what's going on with you. So the cards have come up in a very interesting way today. And so the first place I'm going to start off with is this powerful Know Your Value card. So this card came up with also this rat, which is the Four of Cups. So what this can mean is that with these two cards combined, it can mean that you might be grumbling or a little dissatisfied with what's going on in your life or how things are going. And there could even be a little bit of an attitude of like, who do they think they are? They can't treat me that way. Indignation, right? Like when I see this rat running over the cups, it reminds me of the Last Supper and the rat coming up and saying, well, you can all be saviors or whatever, but I'm still a rat and I'm going to filthy up your wine. You know, it just has this poison to it, this rat. And it's also about, or perhaps even you're surrounding yourself with rats, people who have some negative thinking, some negative attitudes that's going on. So just notice where that is. Notice if that is happening around you, if you're taking your situation for granted. That's usually what the warning is, that you're taking what you have for granted. And the Know Your Value card can be looked at two different ways. It can be perhaps you're not charging enough money when you're doing independent work or you're freelancing or whatever. It's important to know your value. But this also means to know your values. Like, what are your values? Who are you surrounding yourself with? How is that energy coming into the mind? So just pay attention to that. I'm just listening in. Spirit is saying it's so important to celebrate how far you've come and where you are. And you know I say that all the time, but it is about taking those photographs in your mind, because 5 years from now, even a year from now, 6 months from now, whatever, as things change and evolve, this time period could be a time when you'll be like, wow, wasn't that great when I had blah, 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 or look or how well I set up this. So always stay in appreciation of where you are, even if there's some grumbling going on. There's always room for improvement. Abraham Hicks always says, you know, I'll never get it done and it'll never be right, which could sound a little negative, but to me, those words really inspire me to think, listen, this might not be perfect what I'm doing, but I know it's in the right direction and I see where I've made mistakes. And as I keep evolving, I'll improve and I'll keep improving, and rather than taking it as a tear down. So I'm just hearing like a special little warning not to take your situation in your life for granted. Take nothing for granted. Appreciate the hot water. Oh my gosh, here I go with the little list again. The hot water, a roof over your head, clean air, drinking water. Start with the basics and then work yourself up into those beautiful situations and surroundings that I know many of you have created for yourself. So then when I go to the Denis Linn deck, it's funny because two cards came out. The first one is this surrendering to your journey, right? And it says release control. So that is seriously about allowing spirit to use spirit or allow spirit to guide you in a way that helps you to stay on your path. Yeah, you might have stumbled. You might have, you know, perhaps you're changing some sort of behavior. Maybe you're changing an eating pattern and you freaked out and you bought some chocolate or whatever your toxin is, or however you may have used that. That can trigger this ratty mind, right? Those thoughts of of going down that bunny trail. You know, rats live in the sewer. That's when you get into the sludge of life. So paying attention, surrendering to your journey. So perhaps if you did make a slip or whatever, you didn't go to the gym, whatever it is, not beating yourself up about it, but allowing yourself to stay in that flow of like, all right, turn it over to God or spirit or the universe, or I don't know. Who do you pray to? What do you do? How do you turn things over? What's your practice? That's important to know. How do you release this so that you're not carrying all these burdens by yourself? And then I love these cards came out together. The second card that came up is this, what I always think of as the hawk card, this view from above, and it says, get the bigger picture. And when we're able to pull back from our immediate circumstances and get a picture, a bigger view of a bigger picture, it changes our perspective and it may change how we think about our current situation or how we can improve upon our situation. So that's really some great advice today. I mean, for myself, I don't know for you, but I really feel that that's very helpful, especially knowing your value. And this can also be a moral inventory. You know, take check at what are your values. It's important to just stay in check, and maybe it's time to change an attitude or to change a perspective. Just stay in the flow, my dear. All right. Well, I hope that I know you're going to have a good day. Maybe a little challenging for some of you, but just pull yourself out of the sewer. Um, you know, there are pictures of New York City rats running away with a big slice of pizza all on their own, which I do like how resourceful rats can be. So I don't want to be all negative Nelly on these rats that came up. I think they really do add something. They talk a lot about value, about community, and who your tribe is. So anyway, just something to think about. Don't get swallowed up in the emotions of the rat. All right, my dear, I love you, and I'll see you next time.